to me that I could still remember them by name. Ed Schrader. Okay, I know you remember him, Mr. Schrader, the English lit teacher. He actually won a Disney Award or something like years and years back, like 20 years back or so, for outstanding teaching excellence or something like that. Amy Hildebrand, Shannon McWhorter, my math teacher, and I hated math. Okay, everyone knows I hate math. Okay, right. But that chick made math awesome for me because while I was getting bullied in that class, she wasn't having it and stood up for me. Amy Hildebrand stood up for me. Ed Schrader stood up for me. I think his name is Albert Betancourt. Okay. Ray Rickert, Dennis Meyer, Norbert Tate. These are all teachers that I went to school with, along the years of, my going to school, of course. And these are all teachers that took some sort of time to let me know that the world doesn't suck this bad and that you can make it through it. Okay? And so I don't want to lay down a blanket definition and say, all administrators suck or all schools suck or whatnot, because that's just not the case. It is sad, though, when you combine things such as school overcrowding, low budgets, disgruntled teachers and staff and whatnot, that lead to a general sense of apathy. And between that and just the overwhelming flood of problems that come from trying to educate kids en masse.
Right.
Okay? And it is very easy to get that impression that administrators and these people don't care.
Well, it's another aspect of bullying that is now becoming, over the past 5 years especially, most prevalent. It's bullying through social media.
Yes.
Between Snapchat and between Facebook and between Twitter and between...
there was the MySpace incident.
Yeah, MySpace. I mean, just all of these different social media networks and social media outlets that, at least when I was a kid, if I had a bad day at school because kids were picking on me, I could go home and I could insulate myself because I could be in my home and not have to see, listen, or speak to anyone else except for my family.
Yeah, you can go to your own fortress of solitude.
Exactly. Hey, there's another Superman
reference. Yeah.
But nowadays, if you go on social media,
which
Facebook,
who doesn't?
Right. I mean, it's like if you are double digit age, you most likely. I mean, I know Facebook. You have to be 13. Legally or whatever, whatever. But you can always fake it, whatever the case
exactly.
may be. But you can have a social media account, and people will talk about you and bully you through social media, for God's sakes. You can't even go home and get on a social network and escape this shit, because people will tag you and attack you while they're tagging you on social media, and you can block. And you can do this shit, but they'll still create a new account just to bully you because they're fucking assholes.
Yeah. And the suck thing about that is the fact that it's for all intents and purposes, it's an assault on one's identity.
Yes.
When you're out and you're in school, or for that matter, you're out just in public and you get bullied, someone says something to you, it hurts your feelings. They physically assault you, it hurts your body. But, just as Andrew said, at some point you can retreat back to a safer place. You can go home and kind of not let that moment or that incident define you, okay? But you go home and you get on social media, and you basically have this banner, this billboard of your identity, your wants, your likes, your wishes, your aspirations, all of these things, and then somebody just comes in and just starts pissing all over that, and it becomes everything from a perception issue to a privacy issue to just a ton of other issues that so many of them literally come to the forefront of my brain that I can't even name them all.
Right.
And that's one of the worst. The social media bullying. That's I've seen my daughter become a victim of that.
Really?
Yes. I've seen her become a victim of social media bullying. Now, am I going to say that all of it was evil and nefarious on the part of those that were bullying her? No. My daughter has made some rather interesting choices with regard to things that she has done and said on social media that very well could have, sparked some sort of backlash, upon her.
Right.
But do I think that anything that she's ever did or said online warranted the kind of of awful response that she's gotten? No, absolutely not.
True.
And again, as I say, it's pretty much an attack on one's identity, and that's some rough shit right there.
Right. And like I said, there's no escape from it.
Yeah.
I mean, you pretty much have to turn off all of your social media networks. You have to basically close all of your accounts.
Yeah.
And that's not right either, because you should have the freedom to be able to go to your own private little corner of cyberspace.
Yes.
And not have to deal with shit.
Well, you have to remember, the awful thing is that there is no such thing anymore as a private little corner of social media space.
Right.
So.
Anybody can screenshot anything and keep it for prosperity. Is it posterity? Posterity. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I almost screwed the pooch on that.
In his posterity.
Up in my posterity. So I guess what I'd like to say to everyone who's listening, especially anyone who's a parent, if your child is being bullied, talk to them. Let them know that they can come to you about anything.
Yes.
No matter what, no matter how stupid they may think it may be, no matter how innocuous it can be, you should be an outlet, and you should also be an advocate for your child. If if your kid's having a problem, you should be having a problem, and you should be talking to the school and talking to the teacher and naming names and saying this is what is going on.
Right.
And if it gets to the point where your son, or your child, or your son or your daughter cannot go to school, and it may be to the point where you might have to go and talk to a parent and go, listen, if your bastard little child fucks with my kid again, I'm going to blow them up like a jihadist.
Right. And keep in mind, on the inverse of that, you as a parent, if you believe that just because your kid isn't getting bullied, that they're not themselves being the bully, you need to be aware.
True.
Parents need to be aware of that.
Oh,
too.
sure.
They need to be aware of that. They need to be a little more empathetic to that, because I have seen a lot of parents where they've been approached as to say, hey, your kid is bullying my kid. Mm-hmm. And that parent's answer is, well, your kid needs to stop being a pussy. What? No. Right. That's not how this works.
Or the opposite way. Well, there's no way little Johnny or little Janie could be bullying somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't raise my kid to be that way. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I told my son, I said, son, if I ever hear that you're bullying another student, I'm going to whoop your ass.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Right.
You do not mess with other kids. You can be friends with whoever you want, but do not bully another student, because if I hear it, you're going to lose every single privilege that you have. You're not even going to have a bed in your room.
Right.
You're going to have an empty-ass room.
Ground your ass to the Stone Age.
Right. I will give you a pillow and I will give you a blanket, but you will have nothing else in your room. All the posters will be taken down. Mm-hmm. All the clothes will be gone. You will basically be able to walk around the house in a pair of underwear, and that is it.
Right.
Because you're not going to have anything until you leave the house. And when you come back, nothing is going to be there still.
Right.
So I've made it very, very clear to him that we are not raising bullies in this household.
Right.
And everyone else out there, you need to tell your kids, if you're screwing with other kids, if you're bullying other kids, if you're making them feel bad, stop it immediately. Right. And do it proactively. Don't just wait until you get a report from the school that, your little Stevie is bullying other kids.
Right.
You need to tell them proactively.
Have an active investment.
Exactly. These are your kids. They are your future.
Yes.
They're all our futures.
7 minutes left on the clock.
One thing I would like to throw out.
Yes.
As fucked up as this sounds, yes. I think it should be mandatory that every school, like from 9th grade on, needs to show Pump Up the Volume on day one.
What? Wait, Pump Up the Volume. Is this like a video or a movie or something?
It's a late 80s, early 90s movie. Christian Slater, the pirate radio DJ.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And he's basically addressing all the students he goes to school with, and he's talking about everybody's what everybody's going through, the different emotions. It may help the students as well as the teachers understand what these students are going through.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. To kind of prevent that disconnect.
Exactly.
That normally comes. Yeah. I could see that.
Good point.
That's shit.
The only downside about that wouldn't allow it to be shown in classrooms. You see Samantha Mathis.
You say wait. So
what?
What?
Little naked Samantha Mathis.
Yes.
Little naked Samantha Mathis.
Mathis.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, they have school versions of films that they can put out and edit and whatnot, and lots of cable network television has told me that you can properly butcher a movie and still get your point across.
You can put the black box over everything.
Yes.
I'm
the little black
nobody
hidden.
else
It's not their
knows
box.
this movie.
I do not know this movie, and my wife's a big Christian Slater fan for some reason.
For some reason.
It is a classic movie. I absolutely love it. I've seen it probably 50 times.
Well, you know what? If you find it on Netflix or something like that, throw us up a link, and we will definitely check it out. Who knows? Maybe we can readdress this subject at
a later
point.
time. Yeah.
Yes, and hopefully the next time that we reapproach it, that we would have some sort of good news as to say, hey, kids all around have made this step. Teachers, parents, principals, they've made this step, and this is another one of those social issues that we can try to go ahead and put to bed. Because the problem with bullying isn't its own issue. It creates a host of others.
Right.
We were discussing racism, well, pretty much since we started the show.
Right.
And again, that's one of the forms of bullying.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the forms of making someone else feel inferior. But I truly believe that before a person utters a racial slur or a homophobic slur or something of that nature, it's like they kind of get into that initiation bullying. Can I say it or do something mean to this kid and get away with it?
Right.
Okay, now I've gotten away with this, so let's up the ante.
Right.
And that's really all bullying is. It's upping the ante until either the bully is stopped or prevented, or awareness is caused, or unfortunately, in this sad case, where the victim themselves no longer feels as if they can deal with it.
Excellent point.
So, bullying itself is not its own issue. It is the gateway to a shitload of other issues that should never have to be dealt with, and especially by children.
I agree. Very well said, sir.
3 minutes left on the clock. Give me our Urban Dictionary word of the week, and then I've got a couple of announcements.
All right. The word of the week is deadbeat kids.
Deadbeat what?
The Urban Dictionary word of the week is deadbeat kids. What are deadbeat kids, you might ask? No. Having children that just aren't worth supporting.
Damn.
Speaking of bullying, quote,
wow.
Let the state take care of them. They're deadbeat kids.
Wow.
Just
now, wow.
By the way, before you go into your announcements, I just had to say something. My father finally had the chance to listen to our show for the first time. Now the thing is, he was listening at the library in his local library in Houston, Texas, and it would automatically cut off after like 15 to 20 minutes. So he only heard like the first 15 to 20 minutes of all of our shows.
Oh, okay.
But he thought you and I were the same person, that I was doing two different voices.
Ah, wow.
Because we sound so similar.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So I sound like a black man. Why can't I get the matching apparel to go with it?
I can't even believe this. I am...
Do they make FUBU that big?
Yes.
I am a figment of a white man's imagination.
Yeah. But dude, you should be proud.
Don't know how to deal with
Well, if you want to talk about
exactly.
racist shit being said, I guess that means you, quote, speak so well. You know?
Oh, wow. Here we go. Costco bag of dicks.
Leave out the box.
And that's why we call them Clandrew, folks.
Yeah, that's true. So what else you got? What are your announcements?
Well,
sir?
I wanted to make a couple of announcements. First off, we are you know what? I don't even know how to announce it.
That?
Yeah, I don't even know how to announce it. We all know that aside from this, I do this DJ thing for 0 Degree Entertainment, and I just wanted to announce that 0 Degree Entertainment has partnered up with Picture Perfect Photography, and we do stuff. We do weddings. That's right. We do weddings, we do birthday parties, we do all that kind of stuff. All kinds of killer rates, and if you hire both of them, then of course there's going to be package deals involved and whatnot. Yes, lots of money-saving stuff.
And dude, a package deal from Freeze is really big. So I'm just saying.
Yeah!
I'm just saying.
I love it.
That's great.
I love it. So, yes.
How do people get a hold of you, man?
You can contact... Well, you know what? Here's the thing. You can also contact 0 Degree Entertainment on the What It Is phone lines at 732-474-6969. 7393. It took me a couple minutes to remember that phone number because it's usually you that's saying it. And, of course, you can reach Picture Perfect Photography, Mariah Clevenger, very, very talented